Mont Blanc, or White Mountain, is the highest mountain in the Alps, rising to 4,808 meters above sea level. The mountain stands in a range called the Grand Alps between the regions of Aosta Valley, Italy, and Haute-Savoie, France. The location of the summit is on the watershed line between the valleys of Forêt and Arve. The Tour de Mont Blanc is one of the most popular long-distance walks in Europe, circling the Mont Blanc massif, and covering a distance of roughly 170 kilometers, with 10 kilometers of ascent and descent, and passes through parts of Switzerland, Italy, and France.
September 10th, I'm still at my apartment in Tyson's Corner. Just putting together the final touches of everything I need, and I'm gonna head downstairs, call an Uber, and head off to the airport. Okay, so I thought I'd give you a little look at what I'm bringing on this hike. Got everything laid out here, just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. This is my pack. Not a super huge one. I don't know how many liters it is, but it's about medium size. I used this I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago when I was out on the West Coast. I did the West Coast Trail, and it was good. I had to put a lot of things on the outside, such as my sleeping bag and sleeping pad, all that stuff. I'm not bringing that this time, so I figured this will be just perfect for what I need. I'm hoping to keep the whole pack at around 30 pounds or so or less. So take a closer look right here in this brown pack. This is my water purification. This right here is actually it's a bed liner. What I was reading online that said at all the hostels you stay at, bring your own bed liner so you can kind of sleep in it. You never know who else is sleeping in there before you. Right here, this is my multinational adapter, so I can plug in on any country and hopefully recharge the phone, recharge the camera, etc. This is a little towel. I use this. I've had this for quite a few years. It's really handy. You just open it up and it's got a little towel for drying yourself off. So pretty good. This is a map of the trail. I actually had it laminated, so I won't have to worry about ruining it. See, it's one big 105-mile loop. I'm going to be starting, let's see if I can find right here, if you can follow my finger. I'll be going down south first, and then over into Italy, and then back up through Switzerland, and then finish back in France, back to the start. Should take me about 6 or 7 days. Moving on, this is a kind of a spare poncho. I haven't really decided if I'm going to bring it or not. From what I can see on the weather, it is going to rain at least some of the time. So I do have on the bottom of my pack here, under this zipper right here, there's kind of a pull-out poncho for the pack, which is could come in really handy to keep your pack dry. Got some medication, toothpaste, a little first aid kit, sunblock, stuff like that. Little pillow. My mom gave me this. This is for the plane, and hopefully might need it at one of the hostels if I don't like the pillows they got. So for clothes, this is all I'm bringing, really. I got most of the stuff I really need dry is in this waterproof pack. I've already packed it up. It kind of cinches closed. And then I got a few extra things that are more waterproof already, so I'm going to kind of put these in the, straight in the pack. I'm trying not to bring a lot because the more you bring, the more you have to carry. So I do have gloves and a hat just in case it gets a little cold, and this is my kind of waterproof hiking jacket with a hood. This will this will invariably keep me very dry should we get into some nasty weather. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna bring the poncho or not. Maybe if this is starting to get really wet, I might throw the poncho on top of it just to try to keep this a little on the dry side, but we'll see if I have room. All right, heading over the side of the bed here. Snacks. I got my peanut butter and granola bars. I got my Lara bars. These are little vegan bars. I got a whole bunch of them. And these, a few of these, Baru nuts. I ordered these. I heard these on a podcast. The guy, they're like a super nut. Really high nutrient value. Slightly lower calories than a regular nut. I have all the amino acids. Really perfect for kind of what I'm doing. So I got a couple bags of those. That's pretty much it for food. That's it. I think the hostels most of the hostels I stay at are going to have food that they'll give you for the night you stay there. But on the trail, that's pretty much it. Hopefully that'll last me about a week. And last but not least, I got them in this bag over here. They're kind of nasty. Use my hiking boots. Those are the only footwear I'm bringing. So that's it. I'll get this packed up, and I don't have a scale here, so I can't see exactly how much it weighs, but I should be able to estimate. Hopefully around 30 pounds. I think I can handle that for a week. So there you go. I think I have everything done here. I want to take a look. I got my pack all packed up and ready to go. And yes, I'm going fanny pack for the airplane trip. Got all I need in here. Money, passport, book, all the other stuff you need. Snacks. This is my room key. So yeah, I think I am good to go. I'll check in with you guys when I get to the airport. So we're about an hour from departure at Dulles. Been hanging out. Really not a lot of people here, but I did want to show you the plane. Let's see if I can switch back. There she is. That's what's going to be taking us to Heathrow, and from there I'll switch over to a smaller plane, take me over to Geneva. Should be there by 11 a.m. tomorrow. So I thought I'd show you what does Dennis pack in a carry-on. So this, other than this little guy, I got my pillow, I got an apple, my water bottle, and I got a book. But for the good stuff. So the pocket. I got my little snacks. I got 4 little mini Lara bars in case I get hungry. Let's go up here. And here I got an extra camera in case I have problems with the phone. Eye patch for sleeping. Got some earplugs. This is a little pad of paper, so I can take any notes I need to. And this is my Bible. This is not really Bible. This is really what's helping me get through. Like, every stage is mapped out. Tells you where to go, what routes to take. I'm pretty much going to be following it as closely as I can. For those of you who haven't seen, that's pretty much the view I'm going to have during the whole hike. Oh, can't wait. All right. We are on our final approach to London Heathrow. We got a few hours sleep, but it wasn't too bad. Looks kind of cloudy out around London today, but I won't be here long. I have a quick layover and jumping on a plane to Geneva. Oh, we're making a big turn now. I think. Coming on that final approach. Getting closer. So I made it to France. I'm just actually got off the bus a little while ago from Geneva. Dropped me off in Chamonix. And I'm about 7 kilometers from where I was planning to start the hike tomorrow. I originally thought the bus was going to drop me off in Leuch, but they must have changed the route because it was Chamonix. Not a big deal. So I'm gonna actually start my hike today and just do the 7 kilometers until I get to my hotel, and then start fresh in the morning. I have to show you a couple things about how beautiful this is. Let me turn the camera around. This is the river that's going through Chamonix. Got this odd kind of not clear color, but it doesn't look dirty. It just looks almost like it's got some sort of I don't know, salt in it or something. Or maybe limestone. Not sure. But look at this backdrop. There's white peaks. Look at that mountain right there. You can actually see, looks like a paraglider. I noticed them right when we first walked in. So this is what I'm gonna have in store for me for the next week. It's only gonna get better. Okay. All right, putting the phone down. Gotta get some miles in today. And then rest up, and we'll do a big one tomorrow. So it's Tuesday, September 11th, say about 5 in the afternoon, and I am
currently sitting on the start of the Tour de Mont Blanc. I'll switch it around here so you can see. These are the steps that lead up from the start, and then it goes off in that direction and up the hill. So I will plan to start early tomorrow morning. Actually kind of already did a little bit of it today. I originally thought the bus was going to drop me off in Laouche, and it dropped me off in Kamami. So ended up doing about an 8-kilometer hike to get to Laouche and where my hotel was. So got a little start on it, but overall I feel good. Anxious to get started. I'm going to try to get a good night's sleep tonight. I just have to show you this mountain range I'm looking at right now. It's absolutely amazing. So this is what I'm looking at right now as I sit here. Is that insane or what? That's what's going to be on my left shoulder most of the hike. I'm in love. This is great. So, got about 15, 16 miles tomorrow, and if I'm feeling good, I'm going to keep going. It's all going to be dependent upon where I am. I know the sun sets kind of late out here. I think it's around 8 o'clock right now, so I can actually get a lot of distance covered in a day, depending on what time I get going in the morning. And we'll see how it goes. So I'll check in tomorrow. So here we are. It's about 7:30 on Wednesday morning. Even though I did about 8 kilometers yesterday on the route, here's the traditional start of the Tour de Mont Blanc, up those wooden steps and then off into the wilderness. All right, here we go. I got about 22 kilometers or so planned out for today. It's a little chilly, but looks like, I don't know if you can see the sky, but it's gonna be a beautiful day. So I'm bundled up for now, but a lot of these clothes will be coming off. All right, let's do this. So I'm on day 2. Yesterday went longer than expected. I had originally planned to do about 20 kilometers, and I didn't make reservations at any of the refuges. When I was doing all my research, a lot of them said, you should be okay because it's near the tail end of the season. Well, maybe maybe they got a lot more people doing the trail this year than others. But so anyway, I got to the refuge that I thought I was going to sleep at, and they said, sorry, we're full. And my only option was to go another 10 kilometers up one of the steepest climbs of the entire tour. And I was wiped. Yeah, I got there around, I don't know, about 6:30 in the evening, and I couldn't take another step. And thank goodness they had some beds available. But anyway, it was great. I got a great night's sleep. I felt refreshed this morning when I got up. But now I have to I have to contend with the fact that a lot of these refuges might be full. And I'm not sure where I'm going to sleep tonight. We called ahead to one of them, and of course they were full, and it was actually one of the bigger ones. So I was a little discouraged by that. But when I get to the first refuge here, I think it's another large one. I'm going to be there very early. So I'm going to try to decide whether I continue on for the day or just hunker down. And I banked a lot of distance yesterday, so I could use a lighter day. It won't really hurt my itinerary. So but I'm walking on a little farm road right now. Let me show you. I think that's Mont Blanc up there, and little valley, farmlands. It's really, really beautiful. So, okay, gonna keep trucking along, and hopefully I'm not sleeping out in the wilderness tonight. So day 3, it's a little after 7 in the morning. What you're looking at right now is the start of this 3-mile ascent up to Col de Seine, which is this mountain pass we got to pass over. I got an early start today. I didn't sleep well last night, but yesterday was a half day, so I have a lot of energy in my legs this morning, so out of breath for going up this nasty incline. It just keeps going and going, but actually feels good. So have a slightly long one today, probably 20 to 25 kilometers to get to Col de Mer. But once we get over this pass, it's pretty much downhill from there. So I should be able to make really great time, and I'm hoping to get there by this afternoon. And we'll sleep in a hotel tonight because it's a smaller city, so there'll be plenty of hotel options. Won't have to sleep in a refuge. So looking forward to that, and I will check in again later. So starting day 4, leaving this cute little town, Cormier, in Italy. Morning. Feeling a little off today. Little stomach issues and not really feeling myself. I'm hoping getting on the trail will make me feel better. I think there's a trail race or something, because I see a lot of guys with hiking poles and numbers on their chests. So there must be a race going on today. So I'll show you one little look of Cormier. And not sure how far we're going to go today. Looking for at least another 25K. I'm going to meet up with my friend Brian, who I met on the trail. He's a little ahead of me. He started earlier. I'm a little faster than him, so I should be able to catch up to him. So I'll check in later. So it's Saturday, about 4 hours into my hike today. Still in Italy. Probably will pass over into Switzerland sometime this afternoon if I decide to keep going past the next refuge. I wanted to stop and video this area because it's really beautiful. These mountains, I mean, you have this pretty much the whole hike on your left side, and this is a really close view of it. Over there you can see off in the distance, I just stopped there for a break. That's the refuge Donati, and I took the path all along there. You can see some cows grazing, and they're actually in the path, so you have to kind of navigate around them. You don't know if they're friendly or not. I'm sure they're very used to backpackers coming by, but they didn't bother me. And then crossed over that stream, and then I'm right here. And I'll continue along this ridge line. The next refuge is Elena, and it's about 2 hours from here, so it's about 11 o'clock in the morning right now. So I hope to be there by 1, and then I'll decide if I want to make a rush for the next refuge after that, which is, unfortunately, I have to go over a big mountain pass, which would be a hard climb, and I'll decide when I get there if I want to do that today or save it for tomorrow. Okay. So check out the cows here, all with their own little bell. It sounds like wind chimes in this area right now. They are everywhere, these cows. We're back in Switzerland now. That's nice little music for the ears right now. So it's day 5, about 11 a.m. and I just reached Champagne. It's in Switzerland, and probably done for today. I did about 15 kilometers. Got up, left La Jolie around 8 a.m. So I only did about 3 hours, which is the plan. I'm waiting for a couple of the people I'm hiking with to come up that trail right there, and then we'll head into town. There's a big lake up there, which I'll film a little bit later once we get there, and had a really large hike yesterday, about 32 kilometers.
So I want to show you this map that one of my friends gave me. I ended up getting it laminated, but it's got the whole tour on it, so you can kind of see where I'm going. Right over here, Leusch, that was where I started. The bus from Geneva dropped me off in Chamonix last Tuesday, and then I hiked to Leusch right there and spent the night. So the official start date was really on Wednesday, because that's when I got on the trail here. The first day I went from Leusch all the way down to here, Reef Mont Blanc. That was on a 33 kilometer day, which is about 20 miles. There's right here is a massive climb. I was not quite adapted to the elevation yet, so I was breathing pretty hard, but did make it there by, I don't know, about 6:30 in the evening. The second day I did a really short one. There's actually an alternate that's not on here. I didn't go down and around. There's an alternate that goes over a mountain range. It's a little shorter because a lot of this road right here is on a road, but this was the actual climb. You go over this Mount Tondu, but it was a real short day, only about, I don't know, 10 or 13 kilometers maybe. And I stayed at this refuge, des Maudits. So that was really a half day, which was good because it allowed me to rest up from the first day. And then day 3 did a really long one. Started the day with this massive climb up this Col de Seine, which is, I think that's the highest point on the whole tour. I went all the way to Cormier, which is right here. You pass over in Italy, right at this line right here. And that's where I was 2 nights ago. So yesterday, went from Cormier all the way up to, where is it? La Folle. That's where I started this morning. And today, just in the 3 hours I've been up, all the way up to here, Champay. And going to be a half day. Then on tomorrow, which will be Monday, I got kind of a long one. It's going to be about another 28 kilometers or so. Will take me all the way to, where is it? Très-le-Champ, right there. That'll be Monday, and then Tuesday, just get back to the start, and that'll be the full trail. And I will stay the night in Chamonix on Tuesday night, and then Wednesday take the bus back to Geneva for a couple days of recoup before I fly home on Friday. So that is the tour. Maybe someday I'll come back and do it in the other direction. We'll see. So, coming to the end of day 5 here, I wanted to show you guys what a typical refuge looks like. I'm just north of Champay. I spent the afternoon there after I got here around 11, and had a nice lunch. Just hung out with my buddy Brian, and then we parted ways because he's camping in Champay for a day or two before we're continuing on. So I went a little north, about 2 kilometers north to this refuge, and here's where I'll be sleeping tonight. So here's a typical refuge. It's called, this one's Bonapri.
It's basically dormitory style. My room's up on the second floor there. It's got 3 bunk beds in it, and you pretty much just get paired up with other travelers. Each night you pay 1 fee and you get breakfast and dinner included, and then if you want alcohol and stuff, you pay for that separate. That little area right on the left there is usually where you leave your boots, and they have a bunch of sandals that you can put on, which I have on right now, little Crocs. So yeah, it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon right now. Dinner's usually at 7. I'll show you a little bit around the area. This is kind of standard. So you can probably see a group of hikers just came in for their end of the day. This is where they're gonna take refuge for tonight. I'll probably meet a lot of them tonight at dinner. That's typically how it works. All these strangers come together, share food and drink at night, and talk about their day. A lot of the same conversations every time you go to a new refuge. Where are you from? When did you start the hike? What direction you're doing it in? Blah blah blah. So that's okay. You end up meeting a ton of people from all different countries. One of the first nights I became friends with this Israeli gentleman named Alan, and he had his daughter Maya with them, and I got to know them over the next 2 days or so, because we ended up crossing paths a couple times on the path, because we were staying, except for that first night, we stayed at different refuges, and they were always a little bit ahead of me because they had reservations, and I sometimes had to stop at whatever refuge I could actually get into because they weren't full. So just kind of panning. A lot of the places I've stayed at have had these magnificent views where you're kind of in the middle of a valley with mountains. There's really no bad view anywhere on the Tour de Mont Blanc. A lot of old architecture buildings, and it's just there's mountains everywhere. It's really a beautiful part of the world. Good morning. So starting day 6, I just left the refuge. It's a little after 7 in the morning, and I'm on about 25 to 26 kilometer day, I think, all the way to Tré-les-Champs. I'll go back into France, and first stop is going over Alpe Bovine, which is a pretty decent size hill. I'm gonna have to scale, but I think there's lots of dairy pastures on the other side of it. Supposedly there's a dairy farm up at the top. So it should be a good day. Looks like the sky is gonna be relatively clear, so hopefully no rain. I want to hopefully get off this trail without getting soaked. So here's I'm not actually on an off-road trail at the moment. I'm just kind of on a little dirt road. I'll show you. This is where I'm heading down. You could see over to the left there, that yellow dot with the black square around it. Those are the trail markers. At least in Switzerland they are. They're slightly different in Italy, and then France mostly just uses the yellow road signs. So anyway, got a long day ahead of me, and I'll check in again later. So I want to show you kind of a commonplace thing when walking through the tour. You go through, you're not out in the country as much as going through these small towns. You're actually going right next to people's houses. You can see, just walking down a road, and there's, somebody's house right there, and so we're nestled between 2 big mountains here. So they're in a little valley, and we've walked by houses that have little farms and vegetable gardens and chickens, and we're we're walking through people's lives on this trail, and it's really great to see that. And every community's got its own little flair to it, which is nice. And you can see, a little narrow road. I'm walking down here, and yeah, I wasn't expecting this quite as much, actually going through people's neighborhoods. So very happy about that. Okay. So I thought this would be a good spot to check in. I'm about halfway up my climb to Alp Bovine. I'm probably around 1700 meters. I'm standing on this big rock here overlooking this valley, and if I swing around here, good mountain right above. I believe there's an alternate route today, which I decided not to take, that goes up along that mountain range, and it's on the other side. They end up in the same spot that I'm going today. Just it was a little more challenging. I didn't do that one because I have another big climb this afternoon, and I didn't want to blow my legs out on the first hill. So, but I think for me, so here's the path right here. It's going to swing around and then up over that ridge right there. And I believe the summit might be up there somewhere. You can see it's starting to be a beautiful day. It's about a little after 8 a.m. and I'm very happy to see the blue sky. Might have a little rain tomorrow afternoon, so I'm going to try to kick it into gear and finish by midday tomorrow before the rain starts. So that's the plan. We'll see what happens. So I'm about halfway up Col de Baume, which is one of two climbs I got to do on the second half of day 6. First one's the largest one. It's about 700 meters of gain, and then I descend about 100 meters and then go back up like another 300. So probably max out around 2,500 meters today, and then start my descent into Trailechamps. So it's about noon right now on Monday, and feeling pretty good. I should be done around 3 or so, but I wanted to show you the trail that I'm currently climbing up. So off in the distance there, you can see that mountain peak. That's kind of where the direction I came from, and there's a town called Trient, which is kind of the halfway point of the day that I started down at before I started this climb, and I'm about halfway up right now. There's a little table made out of some tree trunks, and but here's what I still have to go. You can see, I don't know if you can see way off kind of where those clouds are split. There's a little hut of some sort up there. That's kind of the destination of the top, the Col de Baume, and I think once I get up there, I'll actually descend a little bit and then come back up a little ways more. Probably, I'm guessing there's another ridge behind there that I can't see yet. So keep moving. So I thought you might want to hike with me a little bit as I ascend this mountain. And I thought I'd tell you a little bit about the types of people you see on the trail. They
they pretty much fall into 3 groups, and then each group kind of gets subdivided. So like the first group's really the elite ultra endurance crowd, and they're the ones that are really doing the trail to test their physical limits and really push themselves and try to get it done as fast as possible. And they're kind of subdivided into kind of like the endurance hikers. They're the ones that do 30-40 miles a day and pretty much camp out when they want to stop hiking for the day, sleep a few hours, get up, put their headlamp on, hike again. So you got that crowd. You got the trail runners who basically try to run the entire 100-mile loop. I've seen quite a few of those. They just have these little tiny backpacks and they pretty much take the bare minimum. And then the third subcategory of them is the mountain bikers. And of the 3, I'd say they're the craziest. There's a lot of hills you got to climb, and a lot of them you can't ride your bike up these. So you got to, not only do you have to climb with your body weight and your pack, you got to carry your bike up this thing. And then the ridges that you ride on, some of them are like have sheer drops next to them, and your tire hits a rock wrong, you go over the side. It's all done. So I've seen quite a few bikers. I don't know how enjoyable it is for them, but I guess you want to try something different. That's one way to do it. So the second group of people you see are the kind of more like advanced athletes type that are not trying to do it as fast as they can, but also don't want to be out here for 2 weeks. I kind of fall into that category. And we're the ones that are kind of broken down into two categories. First is the, ones that, kind of freewheeling it, bring all the gear they have and, just either camp out or get a refuge each night. And they're usually trying to get done in about, anywhere from 5 to 7 days. And, we're pushing our bodies, but not to the total point of exhaustion, and we do stop to enjoy the scenery and, take breaks and stuff. But definitely it's not the scenic route. And then the other subcategory of that group is the ones that kind of, plan it all out, and they know exactly, where they're going to stay each night. They reserve, spots at refuges, and they know where the campsites are, and they kind of follow a plan, but just doing it a little more quickly. And I kind of fell in between those two, where I made a plan, but then turned into a freewheeler. I didn't make any reservations anywhere other than a couple hotels on the front and the back end of the trip. So I'm kind of freewheeling it in the middle. But I knew what I kind of needed to do to get done in 7 days. So, and then that leads to the kind of third group of folks that you'd see on the trail. And these are the more kind of casual hikers. And they're the ones that are looking to do it in like 10 to 14 days. And they're kind of broken down into 3 categories as well. They're you got the first group that follows the plan in the book, for the 2-week hike or the 10-day hike. Basically whatever it says in the book is what they do. It says do a 10K day, it does a 10K a day, and you stop for the night, and everything is planned out. They bring a lot of their gear with them, and and they pretty much take their time. Kind of the second subcategory of that group is see a sign here, 30 minutes to the summit of Col de Balme. So usually the estimates are
a little slower than I do them, so I'll probably do that in 20 minutes. But anyway, so the second group of the casual hikers are the ones where you can pay a company. So like you bring a suitcase and you have all your clothes and stuff, and then you pay this company to drop it off. You know, they pick it up in the morning wherever you are, and then they drop it off at the next one, at the end of the day. So you don't have to carry a heavy pack. And of course that group you have to plan out to a T where you're gonna be every night and then follow that, or else you'll get separated from your luggage. And so you got that group. And then the third group is these are the guided groups. So these would be usually like 5 to 10 people, with a guide, and they pretty much take care of everything. You don't even have to. You just follow the guide, and he kind of instructs you on everything, and you don't have to carry your bags, because your bags are either dropped off at the next refuge, or a couple occasions I saw a couple mules carrying like 20 bags on the back of their saddle. Poor thing. So, but that's those types of groups. I mean, you're only as fast as the mule, really, how far you go that day. So those are usually like the 2-weekers. So so that's pretty much it. Although I did see a little earlier today, I saw, I don't know, about 200, I don't know if they were high schoolers or grade schoolers, all coming up the path in the opposite direction as me, and looked like they were out on like a school trip or something, and none of them looked all too happy having to climb up the mountain, all in their school clothes. So, so you never know who you're gonna see on the trail, I guess. Seen every size, age, shape of people. So it's really, I think anyone can do it. You just have to plan it for, what you want out of it, and what your fitness level is. I was able to do this in 7 days, but if I'd come with somebody that maybe wasn't as fit as me, I would have stretched it out to 10 days. That would have been okay. It would have been different mindset, different planning, but that would have been okay too. But by myself, I wanted to push my body a little bit, wanted to suffer a little bit and grow. So I challenged myself for the 7 days, and I'm not sure if I could have done it much faster than that. I maybe could have taken like another day off, but that's all right. 7 days is what I planned for, so that seems to be what I'm gonna hit right on the dot. So all good there. All right, I'm gonna put the phone away and focus on this last 20 minutes to the summit, and then take a breather. So I made it to the summit of my last climb today on Monday. This is a good shot of Mont Blanc and the town of Chamonix right below it. And the town a little closer is Trail-les-Champs. That's where I'll be hopefully staying tonight. I haven't reserved a spot, so hopefully they have one for me. This is the highest point that I've been at today, but it's really got a great view of the whole mountain range and the whole valley. You can see over in that direction, that's Col de Baume, where I filmed earlier, and I went over that little ridge there, and then down that trail, and then climbed this guy where I'm sitting right now. So there's some other folks right here at the summit as well. relaxing. So this is really, I mean, someone says, going hiking in the Alps, this is probably what they mean. No. So I finished my 6th day on the tour. At my final refuge that I'll be staying at. It's called Auberge La Borne. Had a little under 20 miles today. Legs feel pretty good. I think my body has adapted to the mileage pretty well. I got a night here, and then about 19 kilometers tomorrow to finish up, which is about 11 miles. So I should be done maybe after lunch, sometime around there. Depending on how it goes, there's a couple decent sized climbs. So here's the building right here. Not a ton to look at. We got one guy over there who's pitched his tent up, and he's going to be sleeping outside. And that path over there on the right, that's where I'll be leaving tomorrow morning to head up to the trail. And then I'll be heading off in that direction. I think I have a pretty decent sized climb right off the bat, and then it kind of narrows off, and then I descend a little bit, and then one final climb up to Le Brevent, which is kind of the top of the mountain area over Chamonix. It's supposed to have one of the best views of Mont Blanc. And from there, I will descend down to Chamonix and call it a tour. And looking forward to sleeping in a hotel room tomorrow night, maybe taking a bath, and not having to wear my boots anymore. My feet are definitely, I can fan down. I'm wearing flip-flops right now. These are ones that the refuge provided. I didn't bring my own for some silly reason. So I might actually go out to town tomorrow afternoon when I get there and buy some, because I do not want to wear my boots anymore. So other than that, feeling good. Nice little area where the refuge is here. Lots of vegetation and the mountains all around, of course. It's starting to cool off at the end of the day here. But dinner is in a couple hours, and then I'll probably get to bed early and get an early start. And I'll check in tomorrow when I'm on the trail. So, day 7, this is it. Last day. I got 2 stages to do, but they're both relatively short stages. The second one's a little longer than the first one, but a lot of climbing though, so it's not going to be, it's not going to be a cakewalk. But yeah, the first one's got a whole bunch of ladders and ropes and stuff you got to climb up vertical. So I'm glad that one's early, because there's a chance of rain starting sometime after noon. So I'm gonna try to finish up just after lunch for the whole thing today. So got an early start, left right at 7, and want to get off the trail if it starts getting bad. So and then I'll be done. So I'll check in at the end of the trail.
So I'm standing on the summit of Le Brevant. It's my final climb of my Tour de Mont Blanc. Tired legs, but I made it to the top. Just wanted to show you this beautiful view. You can see the town of Chamonix right below, and that, obviously, the cable car down all the way to Chamonix. It actually closed about 2 days ago, so I don't get to see it operating anymore. But right behind it, right there, is Mont Blanc. Probably one of the best views I'll get of it on this whole trip. So, yeah, it's all done. Every step from here is downhill. I got a couple hours ahead of me to get back down there, but I better get started.
So on the day after finishing my hike, I had a long descent down from Le Brevant yesterday afternoon. Took about 3 hours. Really steep downhill on loose rock, so I had to take my time, and it was hot. The sun was beating down. The bad weather that they had predicted never came in, so it ended up being a beautiful day. But it was fine. I got to my hotel around 3 o'clock in Chamonix, and promptly scheduled a massage for that night, and had a really good kind of restorative massage. Felt pretty good. Slept like a rock, and my body's definitely sore today, and I got a lot of hiking related injuries I'm gonna have to heal up. Here's one of them. You can see my right heel. I got a blister on day one pretty much, and which sucks because I trained for two and a half months in those boots to ensure that I didn't get a blister, and I got one on the first day, so I had to deal with that the whole 7 days of the hike. But that's all right. After about an hour of hiking, you don't even think about it anymore, and you deal with it every night when you get back to taking your boots off. So it's all good. So I'm kind of relaxing here this morning. I just had breakfast at the hotel, and we'll be here until about noon. They have a spa here, so I think I might go down in the steam room and just kind of relax there, maybe do some reading, and then we'll take the bus to Geneva this afternoon, and then I got about a day and a half in Geneva, continue just to recover, and then fly back Friday. So overall, the hike really met my expectations. It was beautiful. Was the number one thing I was expecting out of it. It's just the majestic landscape of the Alps, and being able to experience it. I definitely felt like I got that. It was hard, probably because I tried to do it in 7 days, and that required several long days. I think I ended up doing 3 days where I broke the 20-mile per day mark. So 60 miles in 3 days right there really put a lot on the body. It was good. I got a lot of time to think, a lot of time to kind of just let things go through your head while you're hiking. You get some 10-12 hour hiking days to think about stuff, and so it was good in that respect. I feel like I can head back to life and back at DC in Rhode Island, and with this new experience under my belt. So it's always good to kind of add things to your life experience list. So I think it was good for that.
So I will probably check in one more time before I head back to the States. So here's my last look at Mont Blanc for this trip. Just getting ready to board the bus back to Geneva. This over here, right across from the bus here, is the hotel I stayed in last night. Made sure it was nice and close to the bus station. Ended up being a perfect spot, and it was very comfortable and restorative. And here's the bus I'll be taking. So, board in about half an hour.